If you want to heal any part of your body, from eyesight to broken bones to diseases that have infiltrated your system and your cells, focus on breathing first, because your body knows how to filter these things. It is breathing that supports the blood, which is how your body gets energy. And yes, food is important, but breathing is the foundation of your existence. They're showing me, it's the library of every ailment, challenge that you can possibly think of are a result of those two things, air and water. And what the creator is sharing right now is, you knew this and you chose to come here for a reason, because you understand that fundamentally, this isn't what we're here to experience. And this is exactly what we're overcoming. Welcome back to the Authentic Human Podcast. I'm Michelle Vickers. Today we're recording part 35 of the story of creation, and it's being led directly by the creator and universal beings that created humanity and existence itself. So here we go. Let's find out what they want to share with us today. So let's see who wants to come and play with us today. Interesting. I'm seeing ribs. It's a strange thing to start with. So what's interesting is they're showing me it's like the casing around the lungs, but they're showing me it's like animals, dinosaurs, and humans. It's the capacity. Okay, this is always fun when it's something that we totally haven't gone into before. And I have no idea what's coming. So here's what they're sharing is our capacity to breathe is a reflection of the environment in which we preside, which is different than reside. And they're using that word very specifically, but it's understanding your capacity for breath, your capacity for breath determines, it's like the fundamentals of your physical existence, right? And so it's understanding that when you're breathing, okay, interesting the way they show it. It's like breathing is life force. So everything around your breath determines your body's capacity to succeed or not. So if you are struggling with breath, if you are challenged with breathing, oh boy, this is interesting. It's like that's the number one place you want to go. You want to look to restore yourself, to begin the healing process, okay? Because here's the bigger picture and understanding how healing works is healing is about restoring balance. But what it is that you're restoring balance to is it's not okay. So when you're healing, it's not about healing an organ. It's not about healing a part of the body. It's not about a singular experience. It's recognition that what you're actually restoring balance to is the processes themselves. And the fundamental process is the process where oxygen becomes energy in the body, because it is breathing that supports the blood, which is how your body gets energy. Okay. And yes, food is important, but breathing is the foundation of your existence. All mammals, all life, even trees, their capacity to breathe, right? Oh boy, this is going to stretch. This is going to stretch some mental belief systems. This is good. So it's understanding that any conscious being, okay, in physical form has a relationship with oxygen. Every single conscious being in existence on Earth, okay? Everything, even rocks. Every single thing has a relationship with oxygen. Now, your health and your physical well-being is a reflection of your relationship with oxygen. And what they mean by that is your capacity to take it in and allow your body to convert it into whatever type of energy it needs. This was the original foundation of physical existence, okay? And because that dynamic, if you will, that process, that foundation was challenged and harmed in all, right? Once the air, the water, and the food became less than desirable, is the words that they're using. The body adapted to using food as an alternate power source. But it's really understanding that food is an alternate. It is not foundational and it is not fundamental. Your basis for your health is oxygen. But it's more than that. It's your capacity to take air in to your lungs and allow your body to do what it needs to do with it. If any part of the process of that dynamic is broken, is limited, is challenged, it impacts every other system in your body. Your urinary system, your like circulatory, all of them are fed by the body's capacity to bring in oxygen. What does this even mean? It's important right now to understand this dynamic because the air is about to get more densely populated. The way they're saying it is more densely populated with microorganisms that are going to cause more damage. Okay. And so your job isn't to, it's okay. It's not to hide from it. Your job is to understand how this process works so that you can give your body what it needs to the best of your ability. Okay. As a human, your body has the capacity to purify air. Just feel that for a minute. Okay. It's the same that your body has the capacity to purify water. But what it's doing is it's creating a buildup of everything that it's taking out of the air and the water within your organs and systems. That's how humanity has been poisoned, if you will. Okay, that's why we're suffering with, a huge, like they're showing me, it's the library of every ailment challenge that you can possibly think of are a result of those two things, air and water. Why? Because every bit of food in existence is supported by air and water. It doesn't matter if it's natural or processed. anything that you're putting in your body, on your skin, okay, is a result of air and water. Okay. And so what they're sharing is it's understanding that in order to repurify human existence, so what they mean by repurifying is in order to create a system where humans can function as we were created to, but also creating, how can we come back to that place where we live in a world that fulfills what we need, right? What the processes in our body need, because that's the goal here, right? So it's understanding that humanity is overcoming this huge impact of mental and emotional warfare and terrorism, right? So it's this fear, it's judgment, all of these things that have been strategically designed to ultimately lay us out. Like they're showing me like a whole bunch of people, like humanity just laying down because you don't have any power to even get up, right? This is mentally, emotionally, right? And so what's happening is it's now come to a place where physically we are suffering to the point where it's also really hard to get up. That was strategically designed. Remember, originally humans lived for thousands of years because you came in, you were the master of fulfilling your destiny. You got to choose when you were ready to leave. How did you know you were ready to leave? Because you came and explored everything you possibly could within the life that you created for yourself. And then you knew it's time for me to go because now I have to go take all this information and recreate or create my next exploration. But we can't do that. And it's part of why humanity feels so powerless to really, it's because right now, our capacity to fulfill who we are is not only challenged, but it's greatly at odds with what our mind knows is possible. Okay. So what that means is your soul has an inner understanding of why you were created and why you exist and what you're meant to be doing with your life. And it is in direct odds with what you're told on a regular basis of how you need to act, who you need to be, how you need to show up in your life. Okay. And so what's happening is these two are colliding. And over the next few months, it's like a pressure cooker. They're going to collide more and more, and the steam is rising. And what they mean by all of that is it's recognition that this world, this life that we're living isn't working because it's not meant to. It was never meant to sustain you, the life that we live. And it's recognition that you've been suffering for a reason. And this is the part that you have to come to terms with, okay, in your mind and in your heart, is recognition that you knew as a soul what you were coming into, okay? You knew that there were going to be challenges that seemed insurmountable and sometimes were insurmountable, that you were going to endure immense suffering, immense challenge, and a lot of pain. And what the creator is sharing right now is you knew this and you chose to come here for a reason. Because you understand that fundamentally, this isn't what we're here to experience. And this is exactly what we're overcoming. And in order to restore this faith and this truth of human existence, it takes more than just belief in yourself. It takes a willingness to participate outside of the box, outside of this world that we've been told we're meant to live in. But it isn't about fighting against the box. And this is where a lot of people are right now, is we're fighting against the box because we've been trained to fight against things strategically. Why? Because if we're fighting against something, we're still focusing on it. That's why we were taught to fight against. And what they're saying is, it's time to start to focus on the truth of your own existence. And the foundation of your existence is your capacity to breathe. When you begin to restore your capacity to breathe, you're going to find that all the pieces of your health start to resurrect, start to come back into balance, start to work as they were meant to. But the reflection of the health restoring is a reflection of the level of participation, not only intent, not just oh yeah, I know if I focus on my breathing. It's not that. It's understanding that you need to participate in your breathing. Okay? So right now, your breathing is an automatic response. Okay? It's automatic. You don't think about it unless maybe you do a few deep breaths to calm down, or maybe you do some breath workshops, and they're very helpful. But what they're showing me is conscious breathing in and out, understanding that as you're inhaling, you're breathing in the essence of your existence. And as you're exhaling the toxins of civilized living. Because civilization was the demise of human existence. I know that that's challenging because most of us believe civilization was revolutionary. It revolutionized the human existence, but in the most terrifying and detrimental way possible. And that's exactly what they wanted. They wanted to poison the system. They wanted to see if they could poison the system. Turns out they can. But the creator right now believes that we can restore the system. So as much as this manipulation has been occurring, and though these beings who have ill intent towards human existence, they don't have the power that they portray themselves to have. In fact, they have nothing. They have words, and they have methods of control and manipulation, but they can't tell you how and when to breathe. And yet they've trained you to not think about it. They've trained you to ensure your breaths are short. Why? Because you're focused on fear. You're focusing on anxiety. You're focused on situations that block your potential from reaching its fulfillment. And what they did is they created as many blocks and walls and hurdles as possible to put in front of you, to challenge the way you think about yourself. And what they're showing me is start focusing on your breath, and you will start to strengthen your physical body in ways that you had no idea existed before. And in doing so, those hurdles to your greatest challenges are literally going to dissolve. It will seem like magic. Of course, it's not. It's the whole universe working together in participation. But your goal and your focus is on breathing itself. So what they're showing me right now, okay, is it's just take a few minutes. Please don't do this if you're driving. Close your eyes. If you're driving, don't close your eyes. And just take a few breaths, okay? And as you're breathing, allow your body to relax. You don't want to go into a sleep relax, right? We're not going into a sleep coma state. We're going into a state of a relaxation. So that means when you put yourself and you allow yourself to go into a state of relaxation, your cells become receptive. This is important. This is why humans need sleep. This is why we thrive when we get enough sleep, 8 to 10 hours a night. Because sleep is when your cells relax. Sleep is when the cells become receptive to the wisdom of your breathing, to the wisdom of all of the processes that it was created to fulfill. So if you just allow your breathing to just relax and begin to notice that when you breathe in, when you take an inhale, okay, instead of directing, watch where your breath goes. Watch what it does. And allow yourself to feel how your cells respond. Okay, for those who aren't feeling energy yet, that's okay. The more you allow yourself to set your intention to feel it, the more sensations you will pick up on, okay? The cool thing is when you start to feel energy, you think it's going to be like a billboard with flashing lights and it's going to be so clear, but it's not. It's really, really subtle. But the more you allow yourself to relax into it, the more it actually becomes a billboard with flashing lights. Okay? Remember, energy doesn't need to scream and be in your face. It's subtle because it's the foundation of your existence. It's not meant to be in your face. It's meant to support what you're here to do with your life. Your health is meant to support what you're here to do, right? It's not meant to be in your face and your focus all the time. It's an understanding that it is part of the processes that you participate in every single day because it's vital to your success. But it's also recognizing that when you don't focus on it, there's going to be damage. Damage is the result of non-participation, a lack of participation, not because you didn't want to show up, but because you were strategically taught not to, and then it became comfortable to not. That's exactly what they were hoping for. So the goal now and the shift becomes start with focus on your breathing. If you want to heal any part of your body, from eyesight to broken bones to diseases that have infiltrated your system and your cells, focus on breathing first, because your body knows how to filter these things. It's when we hold the vibration of fear that we can't actually do it. That's why you need to relax into your capacity to allow the breath to become power that it is, really. It's funny, the way they're showing me is, it's almost like dragon fire, breathing fire, but you're breathing it in. Every breath you take is literally like life-saving. It's a life-saving opportunity, and it's yours to choose to do with as you please. The reason that they're sharing this now is because, again, the air is going to become more impacted, more damaged over the next few weeks, potentially a few months. And our job is to not forget that that's happening. Our job is to recognize that your body does have the capacity to breathe through it. You just need to allow yourself to relax into that truth. Okay? It's no longer holding the fear that it can't breathe. It's holding the truth that it is meant to be purifying your system to ensure that you continue to thrive. Okay. And if you don't feel like you're thriving now as a result of other challenges health wise, again, come back to the breath, start building your breath so that you can build your health back up. Okay. Other supports are great, but the foundation of your health is your breath. Okay. This is going to make more sense as we keep going through the next parts of the story of creation, because we're getting into the boy, these are tricky words for me, the physiology of the human structure. But it's understanding that we're going into the relationship between the physical existence of all aspects of existence on the planet. So this is where we're going to really start to understand the differences, different gases, different elements, it's like the periodic table is going to come to life, is kind of how they're showing me. They're going to start to bring all of these pieces in so that they make sense to you, so that we can really understand that the components, if you will, of existence were designed for us to, they were strategically, like there's a reason where every element was included. It's not just, oh, it's just here, so we're just dealing with it, right? But that's how we've been taught is, oh, don't worry about that one. Don't worry about this one. They want you to understand that every element of existence is foundational to your success. And they're all here to support your success, just like you're here to support the success of human existence and existence itself. Everyone works in relationship and imbalance. And this is what's starting to be restored. But you need to start with your breath. So it's relaxing, consciously choosing to breathe, and just paying attention to not only how your breath is coming in. Is it short? Are your exhales longer than your inhales? Maybe your body is filtering a lot more than you think it is, right? But it's understanding that your relationship with your breath is about to become dynamic. It is about to become the foundation of your existence, because your healing is the biggest goal in human existence right now. Why? Because humans weren't meant to physically suffer. You were meant to have a body that allows you to fulfill every single dream and goal you have. So let's do that. Focus on your breath. That's step one. We're going to find out the rest of it as we keep going on this story of creation and this journey together. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next part. Bye for now.
I have so many people, I could count on both hands, people that are having trouble breathing, horrible health concerns that I just know even breath, massaging through that liver, it's just, but I'd have to sit back without judgment.
Yeah.
And it's been difficult, very difficult. And the exhale is more important than the inhale. So get those toxins out of the body with the exhale.
And I don't know that. So here, feel that.
Okay.
Because feel that. Because look, when you take the inhale, you can't exhale if you haven't inhaled. And everything you need comes from the inhale.
I've always believed that my mind, if I could just figure it out, that my mind would be able to control my body and keep me calm and give me a good nervous system. If I could just work out all the truths of whatever, and then I would be able to manage this thing called anxiety or fear or whatever.
They're bringing a bigger picture together, and it's again, we're going beyond meditation, which is the mind driving it, right? We're going into that place where you're having an experience, which is not the mind at all. It's allowing your mind to relax and watch what's actually happening, right? So that's what they were talking about. Like, take when you breathe in, watch what the breath is doing and notice what it's doing to yourself.
Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this conversation and want to learn more, head on over to michellevickers.com. Join our mailing list to receive new episodes right to your inbox, or apply to be a guest on the show. If this episode made you think of someone while you were listening, forward the link onto that person with a little note about why it made you think of them, because the greatest gift you can give another human is to see the beauty and purity of who they truly are. Until next time, stay curious.